okay, I've got a spontaneity thing coming on. I am an actor. I'm not sure who I am at the minute. I think I'm Zephyr Wood. Zephyr Woods. Zephyr. You. No, Zephyr Y. Zephyr Y Woods. Y Woods because it's a yew tree. U and Y to me, I get mixed up because yew tree is spelt Y-E-W, and you, like a sheep, is U-W-E, I think. I don't know how you spell the female sheep. And look, I'm getting off the track. I want to do a thing about Metallica, right? So I'm going to do a riff, and it's about Metallica and Lou Reed because I was there. I not introduced. Well, I guess I did. I brought Lou into the room. I introduced Lou to Pete Townsend. I could do a whole bit on that for people that are interested. Lou Reed fans might want to know how that went down. I can do it if you request it, but. So that's the first thing. I can do stories. I can tell you stories about my life with Lou Reed. I've got nearly over 9 years worth of I've got emails and all sorts of shit. They'll probably fuck my emails up now and I won't be able to remember anything, but I've got a pretty good memory. I can do like a lot of Lou Reed stories, no problem. I've got Jeff Beck stories, 2 Jeff Beck stories that are really superb one, but I've also got advice on playing like Jeff Beck. Not that I can play like him, but I'm a guitar technique. Well, I'm not because I'm Zephyr Woods, but my guy, the writer of this, allegedly is like some sort of like wizard. First of all, he's what they call a drone wizard. He knows all about frequency. Leave your fucking hair alone. Why? I don't know. It's a nervous thing. I don't know. It just makes it feel like I'm just. It's like I'm just normal or something. I can just like be one of the guys anyway. So no. So what I'm trying to do. I'm developing a character. It's what actors do. They find like, you get a twitch or a little weird thing. Like you got a fucking anyway. So you got something to play with. You're trying to build up something. You're trying to make yourself interesting when you're not. You're not that interesting. Anyway, so Metallica and Lou Reed. I was there. Did the whole thing. Oh mate, have I got stories about that whole thing? And I quoted when they said they would do the Lulu album. It'll take 10 minutes. We'll get together within 10 minutes. There'll be a big argument and it'll be done. And it nearly happened. I could tell that's tale. Our James Hetfield. Oh, yes. But that's not the one I want to talk about. I want to talk about SIR 37, Metallica set up. It's going to be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Someone's put Metallica with Lou Reed. I don't know if they asked if Lou would, let's get Lou Reed. They did Lou Reed, Ozzy Osbourne, and what's his name? Waterloo Sunset guy. Fucking, oh, come on. The Kinks, not the Kinks. No, the other one. No, it's the Kinks, ain't it? You really got me. No, because I always think about the guitar player. But Ray Davis. It's Davis. They're not German. They're fucking Welsh. Davis is a Welsh name. Anyway, he was doing it. I never met him. I wish I'd met him. I want to meet his brother more because you really got me as a fucking. Do you know how they got their sound? They actually slashed. They put razor blades, razor cuts, not slash the whole thing. To perforate it. My dad told me this. My dad said, "No, dude, you don't want to like slash it because it'll be flappy. If you want to keep it tight, like Metallica tight, just perforate you got a paper cone. If you just go around, my dad said this. He said, just get the corner of a razor blade and just go around and he said, start doing patterns." Like with the razor blade. So if you look up at the light, you can see the light through it and it's making patterns. Do you know, like, there are things like that. The old tickets used to have things like that. There were things in paper where you just put little holes along, perforations they call it. Yeah, perforations. And then you could like, stamps is an ideal thing. When you've got a page of stamps and it's all squares, my dad would say, well, try one with all squares. He didn't know, but he's actually getting the harmonic structure of the notes. If you do squares... Or, think about cymatics with the fucking, where you put the fucking sand on the metal, on a metal sheet, and then you put a violin, and it makes the patterns. Or you put a speaker in water, or you put it under the water and you shake the water, and it makes patterns. I know this sounds nuts, but it's called cymatics, I think. C-Y, M-atics, like attic, like you're in the attic. Semantics? No, not semantic. Anyway, I get confused with words, but you know what someone can Google it. Like, I can't Siri anymore because I get turned on with Siri. I'm like, Siri. Yeah? I'm like, what are you doing? She said, I'm waiting for you, baby. Siri, really? She goes, no, you've programmed me to say this shit because you are lonely and you want Siri to come over and seduce you, which I'm willing to do. Also, we're still in character. Siri's still going to be an escort girl that's going to come round and just talk to me until I just ejaculate because her voice is so sexy. No, this is not. I didn't want to say this though. I wanted to do the Metallica thing. I'm trying to get Metallica fans on board. They're not going to like this shit. Somatics and fucking Siri wanking me off verbally, I might add. Not being wanked off manually, but verbally by someone's voice. Is that even possible? Yes, absolutely it is. Why do you think actors like Richard Burton, you know, there's a whole thing with voice. Anyway, let's get to the Metallica story because I really want to get this going. Right, so I'm going to have to pull the camera back so you can see my hand. Look where my hand was. No, like, seriously, I go down, I get the call down. I've heard this so many times from the Strokes, from this one, you know, everyone, go and get the guitar tech. Band wants to meet the guitar tech. And the first thing they're going to say is, what's Lou Reed like? Or what's Lou like? Oh yeah, I can just, he's nice. They're not going to buy that. He's not nice. He can be nice. Anyway, I'm getting off the track, so I'm riffing a little bit. So this is what I said. I walked down there. Hey guys, like, there's Hetfield. He's towering above me. He's terrifying because he's a big, mad, Irish-looking guy who looks like he wants to just rip my fucking head off. Then there's Robert. Now, Robert looks like a fucking warrior, and he looks like he'd absolutely annihilate you. But there's something in it. Robert is a beautiful, gentle man, very gentle. So I'm not intimidated by Robert at all. Like, I love the way Lou said this about his bass playing, and I never told Robert this. Early on, before he knew who Robert was, because they became friends. When he didn't know who Robert was, after the first rehearsal, when we left, I think it's it's the first rehearsal. I put him in the car with a gear, and we were travelling down. He said, "I like that bass player. He comes ready to go." Like, and he gestured the way, you know, Robert always holds his guitar down low, like he's got his hand right by his balls, and he's like, and the guitar. Lou loved all that. He loved it, absolutely. So he loved Robert right out the gate. Didn't know who he was. He goes, "I like that bass player. He's ready to go. He's like, you know, no nonsense, straight ahead." And then there's Kirk. Well, Kirk is like a really sweetheart guy, and I became really friendly with him. He's like 6 months younger than me, so we grew up. We got all the same influence. I started talking to him. He's like, I said, "You're into Schenker, aren't you?" He goes, "Oh yeah, Michael Schenker." I said, "Vibrato and all that." And I said, "Yeah, do you know how he gets a vibrato?" And he goes, "No." I said, "It's a flying V. If you put a flying V in your groin and you actually move the guitar like a flying V is in your groin, don't try and vibrato with your arm. Use the guitar." Michael Schenker's using the whole leverage of the guitar, the long length of, like, once you've got the guitar and you start using the weight of the guitar, fucking vibratos are like, and he goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah, dude, you can do it with a Strat. Put your Strat right in your crotch and start, you know, using the weight of the guitar." I said, "That's why everyone used to use Les Pauls, because they were so heavy, like Paul Kossoff." Anyway, Kirk actually gave me a 1962, I think it was, Les Paul Burst. Was it 60 or was it a 59? I don't think it's a 59. It might have been a 58 or I don't know. Honestly, I don't really give a fuck. It was a nice guitar. And he was really nice. And he said, "Yeah, you might want to look at that." Because we were looking at, what people don't know, Kirk is actually a collector of, like, Hammer horrors. It's an aficionado. He really knows his stuff. In fact, he lent his... When Lou wrote that thing about I'd cut my legs and tits off just to get Nostradamus, there was some question on how you should pronounce it or how it's spelled. Kirk was the guy who went, "Dude, it's this. This is how it is." And him and Hal Wilner, is it Kirk or Kurt? I always get mixed up. Kurt Cobain and Kirk Hammett. Captain Kirk Douglas is the guy from the Roots. I know him. I'm in a film with him. He's lovely. So it's Kirk Douglas and Kirk Hammett. There's another Mark Hamill. I always get Mark Hamill. See, I get confused by names, and that's why I've never got that far in the industry. That's why I've never really got that far. I only got as far as Lou Reed and Metallica. I never got to do it really at the highest level. Anyway, so I meet the band. There's Kirk, and at first Kirk's a little bit fucking, he's a bit like, oh, we're fucking. He didn't do it at first, but he did at the end. I'll give you what he was a bit shirty, and it's not. He's a lovely sweetheart guy, but he had to. We're Metallica, man. Don't fuck with us. He had to do it. He was the one. I thought it was going to be Lars. Everyone said, oh, Lars. You know what? Lars is a sweetheart. I love Lars, and I'm probably going to get slated for this. If I meet Lars anywhere, him and me hug each other, and immediately he does that Lars grin, and we say some stupid shit, and we start laughing. His dad is another guy. His dad, every day I got to HQ when we were recording, his dad would give me these hugs. I mean, like real bear hugs. He'd hold me really tight. Have you ever been hugged by someone and you think this is going on a bit long, but you go, yeah, but they really like it. They're like, and it just feels great. So you go, I'm not going to let go if you don't let go. And it's like you get into this, it's almost like you've jumped out of a plane and you're in, you're free falling and you're gripping someone, you've got to pull the parachute, but you just don't want it. You're like, I'm going to fly all the way into the fucking ground. Well, his dad's like a big, not big, he's a small guy, but something about his stature, he feels like a big Viking guy. So that's his dad. Anyway, so let me get down to the fucking story. Come down. Oh, band like to meet you. Okay, yeah, surprise, surprise. Go downstairs, walk across the thing, walk up, and there they are. It's Metallica. You've seen them on TV. You've seen them in magazines. They're right in front of you. They're real people. Hetfield was really lovely. When I first met James Hetfield, I was usually when you have a situation like a band coming in, if you've got good management, I sometimes question some of these things around Metallica. If you've got good management, someone comes down and says, dude, band are doing in 15. So everyone fucking gets their shit together. They know they've got 15 minutes. And then we try and make it into looking magical as if it just all fucking happened out of a fairy's arsehole. We don't want to be on our fucking knees taping down things and stuff when the artist comes in. It looks like we're fucking not professional. Anyway, so I'm down on my knees. I wasn't tape. I didn't tape. I refused to fucking gaff tape on this one. I velcroed. I think I velcroed. Anyway, I probably fought for that, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. I think I didn't even take down because I had to get the stuff up early, and I did it. I ran the cables in such a way where no one even knew. I knew it was a problem. It's fucking work of art. I'm fucking genius that one out. It's beautiful the way I got them to not get into a pissing match because I was really smart. Listen, if there's 12 o'clock, this is what I was going to say, yeah. So they invite me down, I meet the band, there's Lars, and then they say, what's Lou like? And I go, look, there's 12 o'clock. I don't know if you can see it, it's 12 o'clock. Metallica are at 9 o'clock, that's over there, right? So 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Metallica's a long way away. And I said, yeah, and Lou Reed is at 3 o'clock. That's a long way away too, right? 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Now, we can't go back to 12 o'clock because that's a start point. Nothing happens at the start of anything. It's just the start of something, and hopefully it ends up being something good. So here I go, you're Metallica, you're at 9 o'clock. Lou Reed's at 3 o'clock. Oh, what do you mean? I said, well, you're about 3K. You guys are going, da, 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 da. You're so fucking precise. You've got this wrist, this fucking palm mute thing. You do this whole fucking, your drum beats. It's all mental. You guys are just, da, 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 da. It's so aggressive. I said, then you got Lou, he's got a loose 70s fuzz sound. It's called a death pedal. And it's basically, his music is just all like loose. It waves in and out of time. It kind of defies tuning and time itself. Lou Reed just goes, hey, yeah. And he comes in weird places. So immediately Lars looks terrified. Lars looks absolutely petrified. He goes, he won't come in on 3, will he? I said, oh no. He'll come in on 3 and a little bit and a push. And Lars looked at me like, what the fuck does that mean? I said, look, it'll be fine. Watch Lou's body language. Watch his shoulders. Watch how he plays the guitar. You can see him wind up. Tony Thundersmith is the drummer with Lou Reed. He's read Lou's back and shoulders to know where the song's going. And he's the drummer. He's meant to be driving the song, but Lou doesn't want the drummer driving the song. Lou wants to drive the drummer to get the drummer to drive the people, if you know what I mean. Lou's the master, the drummer's a slave, the slave rules everything. I don't know if that is even a good analogy, but that's as best I can come up with. So they look confused. Now the other thing is I only had a small tone keen combo with one 1 by 12 speaker in it. I had another one off to the side, which I was going to try and just use an extension speaker cab. But if we didn't have enough power, I could actually use extra power. And you're going, why not just give him more power? I'm like, because it would have gone down. It would have been. Metallica's got a wall of fucking stacks. They got 4 by 12s everywhere. Those heads are all on. They're all plugged in. They're on in-ears. They've even got wedges on. The wedges are still putting... They've got guitar coming out the wedges louder than you can fucking imagine. They're in a cavernous place. SIR 37 with nothing on the walls, no dampening. It's like a fucking... Have you ever tried to play in a fucking subway station? I mean, a big, like, where there's so many delays and echo and phase. It's fucking nightmare. Metallica can't hear it because they got in-ears. On top of that, they got ISO cabs, so they can turn the amps up over there. They got ones off to the side that they get in the sound. That the bits that are mic'd, it's not the back line. They're just running the back line for the fucking hell of it because they're Metallica, and why not have the wedges on, have in-ears? More is more is more. Fucking Malmsteen mentality. Which I can talk about that. I've never worked with Malmsteen, but I've got a few things to say. First of all, I think he's funny as fuck. I think he's hilarious. He should just be a comedian. He's hilarious. He's really funny. Right, let's stay with Metallica, Stu. I'm not Stu. I'm Zephyr Woods doing a part which is going to be a guitar tech type character. But let's just leave that in the air. Right, what was I saying? They was 70s loose, and he won't come in on 3 and a bit and a shove. Just watch his body, you'll be okay. Right, so, and the room sounded fucking terrible, and Metallica were hideously loud, and it seemed to me like that their sound crew had no clue about sound at all. But I wasn't on an in-ear mix. When you're doing an in-ear mix, it's nothing to do, you don't give a fuck about the room. But I was in that. I was in this room of hell. Metallica in a big cavernous room is hell. When they've got the wedges going one way, they've got the back line fighting the wedges, so they've got like interference patterns. Like wedges are going this way, back line's going that way. They're both on weird angles. Probably I would suggest a 27-degree angle, which is 2 and 7's 9. 9s and 3, you've got to be very careful with angles. Especially if you're doing metal. Metal on angles makes sharp blades. You can take people's eyes out and ears out with razor blades if you're not careful. And see, I'm riffing on this. It's pretty good, isn't it? Like, I'm really painting a picture of like razor blades and angles of sound. But the fucking weird thing is, I see and feel it that way. I really do. I can really see how sound works in a room. It's weird. I see it rather than hear it. I think, oh yeah, it's going to do that and that and that. And I know what it sounds like, but I'm often right, and it's so weird. I'm going fucking deaf, but I'm hearing stuff now that I've never heard before. Anyway, like, get to the fucking point. Metallica sounds awful. So, like, this is my big dilemma. Lou Reed absolutely hates any sort of like cavernous thing. I've been on tour with him where he's really kicked off, and I mean shouted and stuff to the point where I got the crew because I was in charge, but I think it was Joey's idea. We started putting all the backline in front of the stage just so that they could play into all the flight cases, and the flight cases would fire back. We made a room. We made the stage as small and as tight as possible, and it fucking worked. And I did that a few times. There was a time we did a festival somewhere, just me and Lou, and he was on a big stage on his own, and the amp was down just the way I've always done it. And today he didn't like it because there was no back wall. He was not hearing a back wall. So he starts, and I quickly went backstage. I said, guys, can I have these flight cases? There were some empty wardrobe cases. I wheeled them up. I made a wall behind the amp. I said, try it now. He go, perfect. This is why he liked me, because I'd make fucking things. I got what was going on, and I could talk about Laurie Anderson and Rubin over in both France and New Zealand, how I use these skills that I've got to make a bad situation turn out great. So this is a terrible situation. If Lou walks into this, there's no telling what. If he doesn't know, if no one gives him a heads up that it's like absolute dog shit, he's gonna ream me out for a start. Now, the problem is, if I tell Lou this now, today, the night before, he doesn't sleep anyway. See, people don't know this about Lou Reed. You think, why is Lou Reed so miserable? The guy never slept. I get grouchy as fuck when I don't sleep, but I also get very speedy. So Lou likes speed, and I can talk about Lou Reed and Mick Rock doing drugs No, they were talking about them doing drugs in the 70s. So I've got stories there as well. If anyone wants it, but no one seems to give a fuck about what I've got to say. Or they just don't know, or this, I just don't, I don't think people really like me. For some reason, no, I don't think that's true. I think people totally like you. That's rubbish. I'm doing character development. I'm going for some sympathy or something. Why you don't need sympathy? Fuck that. Keep with the Metallica stuff. It's great. Rob's fucking awesome. You just had your picture on Facebook came up. That was 2011 where you and Rob were drinking tea together. Do you remember when you got the fucking me and Rob had a fuzz out, meaning Rob, I could never, Rob, I'm going to crucify your name, Trigillo, whatever. Just you're Rob. You fucking Rob, the absolute top bloke. Rob Top Bloke brings down a Lemmy bass, a Rickenbacker, but a Lemmy one. It's Lemmy's bass. He's got a replica of Lemmy's bass, and I got Lou Reed's fuzz bot. I took Lou's pedal board that we've been using to record, and it's got 4 different fuzzes on it. Well, overdrives and fuzzes, and a boost on top of it. And I wonder if I could easily have a pig nose, couldn't I? Couldn't I be really... I'm such a big nose, man. Maybe you could use something with that, though. It's a Roman nose. It roams all over your face. Look at the size of that. My God. You look like a fucking walrus or something. No, like a little elephant type thing. Anyway, what was we talking about? Yeah, me and Rob had a fuzz out. Like, he was curious about Lou's pedals. And I was like, dude, after we get done... and Lou's out of here, he's going to go for dinner. I'll skip dinner because I was eating dinner with Lou and Hal every night, nearly every night. And I was like, no, I'll skip out. You and me, we can have a bit of a boys' night if you want. Get the fuzzes going. You can play and I'll be your tech. And he's like, okay. But you know the first thing he did? He gave me the bass. He asked me to. He wanted me to play and do the things, and he wanted to do the knobs. He wanted to play with the pedals. He's like, you keep playing, do a riff or something, and just keep looping it around. He's smart. Rob's a really, he's a great musician, but he's a very smart guy. He's got a lovely family, his wife and kids. Like, they've all got this long hair, and they just they're connected to the earth in some ways. Like, he is like a fucking warrior chief, like from some ancient civilization, but come in modern time. I don't know. He's a surfer. He likes surfing. That's what I said to Lou about. He was saying about Metallica, and he said, "Well, because he knew Lars. Lars was Lou's next door neighbour in New York. I don't know if you know that, but I only know because I saw the babysitter that I'd met in San Francisco." In New York, and I thought suddenly, my heart went out. It's like this beautiful Swedish woman just appeared. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? I thought she thinks I'm the most amazing thing ever, and she's like followed me to New York, and is stalking me. I didn't think that. I just thought she just looked great. And she went, oh yeah, Lars lives here, and I was like, makes sense, yeah, because it does. Anyway, so. Where have I gone with all this? I've gone nowhere, really. I can tell you why James Hetfield is not the table. It's not the table you think he is. And it's like, if you knew how great that performance is of James Hetfield and what that did to the people in the studio when he did it, you wouldn't be fucking saying, James Hetfield thinks he's a coffee table. Honestly, Metallica people, you're great and stuff, but look from beyond. Like, don't be so like what the words mean. Look beyond. Read between the lines. It used to be a thing. Read between the lines, and there used to be a thing that people used to do in society called reasoning. But that's gone all out. Like, reasoning is like if someone says to me, "Why are you making this video?" There's got to be a reason. Well, it's to make my fucking arm ache holding the phone. I've got to loosen it up. That's why I'm doing it, because it makes my arm ache. No, I'm doing it because I think I've got some stories to tell, and I think that I want to try doing it in a different way to everyone else. I don't want to be a fucking YouTube. Oh, and this is really, those YouTube fucking people are wank. It's like they're creating robots. Oh, ring the bell, subscribe to me, ring the bell. Like, it's fucking Pavlov's dog. Why do you think all those fucking YouTubers look the same? They're not the same. Rick Beato refuses to do but I bet he'll come round. They'll get him in the end. I can't do the angles so good now. What's going on? I don't like that wave. Disarm me. Disarm me. Anyway, no, Swiss Army knife. Disarm me, Swiss Army knives. So this is another thing about the character. When you're riffing, no matter who I am, whether I'm like being the guy being an actor that's doing the guitar tech guy, or whether I'm the guy, there's a Harry Rant is another character where I rant on. And now what I do is I cross-reference all these, like when I'm going, you won't know if I'm Guitar Tech Man, Harry Rant, Mr. Conspiracy Theory. No, it's not, I don't want to call him Conspiracy Theory. There's a guy called Phil Officer. He's an officer of philosophy. And when you're an officer of philosophy and your name is Phil Officer. See, this, when I was a kid, I think I had a speech impediment, which I clearly didn't clear up. But I think they made me say stupid shit like this, you know. If you're an officer in philosophy, sir, your name and honour would be to be a philosopher writing a score in a movie for someone who's talking about philosophy in a different way and is an officer of the law. No, I don't want to do officer of the law. I'm an officer of the law. Everyone does officer of the law. I want to be an officer of philosophy. Officer of philosopher. Philosopher, the officer of philosophy. See, philosophy fucks out. I want to do philosopher. I am a philosopher. My name is philosopher. I am a philosopher, my name is philosopher. I am a philosopher, my name is philosopher. Philosopher is my name. I am a philosopher, if you will. I am a man well versed in philosophy. Philosophy. For a fee, I will teach you philosopherism. What? Philosopherism? That's not even a word. Spell check it. Spell check. When I do spell check literally hands come out and goes, dude, what the like? If I could do hand, I can't see. If I got a proper camera crew, and once I get my hands involved, dude, I can tell a fucking great story. My hands are fucking gold. Look at that. See how those knuckles look? I could do it like a boxer or anything. Look, slap him around. Oh you, fucking yeah, you. Wake up. See, I can do it all. Do it to myself. That's when you're an actor. You don't. It's not the other guy. You have to practice your lines, and you've got to do his lines as well. Let's do a scene. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to do James Hetfield beating me up. Oh, James, why did you come back? I can't do his voice, but because I heard some little bitch was trying to play my guitar rig and make it sound like shit. Why do you think it's me? I'll tell you why I think it's you. Because I fucking saw you fucking playing my rig. Arsehole. Didn't happen. That's acting. I can take it. That doesn't hurt at all, but it sounds bad, doesn't it? You can do it. Doesn't hurt at all. Sounds terrible. It's all about sound. Everything's about sound. Everything is frequency in the world. And I can talk about this. Why? I am the only person on the planet who's been exposed to the amount of frequencies en masse that I've done. I've done over 240, I stopped counting 240 hours ago, of actual public performance of guitar feedback with 7, usually, of Lou Reed's guitars. I've done as many as 12, into 12 amps. And I've stood in the centre of that circle, and I've actually done augmented triangles in every combination in there. And by the end of 3 hours, I went longer. It was meant to be 2 hours, but I always do longer. At the end of that, I had convinced many people around me that they were in a state of absolute blissful love. It was beautiful. Even Laurie Ann, I did it with Laurie Anderson. Laurie came over, and she just looked at me like she was like somewhere else. She just looked like an angel. I don't see auras, but I see it from people. It shines out there. For me, some people say that there's an aura around you. I try and do like a cheap fucking stunt. Look, there you go. Like, oh, you got a halo above your head. No, how am I going to do that? I can't get the fucking angle right. Well, if I had a cameraman who knew what he's doing, which I don't, kind of like that. Like, you put an aura around someone. Like, it looks like I'm, no. If I was really good looking and they did that, I'd look like something fucking great, angelic, but I don't want to look like that. I want to look more sort of like this. Anyway, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, I've got some Hetfield. I could do all that stuff. I did play James Hetfield's rig. I did make it sound like shit. He didn't come in. He didn't catch me. And if he did catch me, he wouldn't have cared. James Hetfield is a really mellow, laid-back guy. Except he's obviously not been that way all his life. But when I met him, he was really, really together. And he was another guy that wanted me to come over and teach him how to weld. It's like, dude, you weld? I'm like, yeah, I'm a welder. I'm a fucking coded welder. I'm a welder. I build things. I know how to weld. James Hetfield's like, oh, why don't you come and build some hot rods with me? And I'm like, I really thought about it for a while. I thought, I just don't like building engines. I mean, if you're a hot rod builder, you've got to know about the engines. Jeff Beck, I met Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck showed me his hot rod. We talked about welding. That's how I bonded with Jeff Beck. Not talking about fucking guitars and about all the little nitty gritty shit that I know about. No, I resisted and I talked about welding, which I know something about, but there's a lot of people that know a lot more. My brother knows way more about welding than me. My dad knew more. Well, I think I could weld as good as my dad in the end. I think I could. My brother, no, I don't think I'll ever be that good. He's really good. He's done things that are just unbelievable. But I bet if he showed me a little bit of practice, I bet I could do it too. But it would take him to show me. I won't be able to figure it out. And that's the difference between him and me. He can figure it out on his own. He'll probably say, no, I didn't figure it out. Stan Cooper showed me how to do it. Because Stan Cooper was the most amazing welder anyone in town knew. Stan Cooper used to race motorcycles. He's a TT racer. I could talk about all sorts of people that I've met in my life who are just fascinating characters. But I can talk about rock stars too, who also, like Hetfield would come in a hot rod every day. You'd hear the gates open at HQ and you'd hear this fucking... He drag raced right... If you stepped out, when James... he would have killed you. He's going and he's nailing this thing. He's trying to get it as far... I think he had a death wish. Because he would go as hard as he could and right at the last minute he would like skid it and then just throw it round the corner. But I was like, dude, you can't be driving at a wall that fast. What if your brakes fail? Like, he doesn't think like a guitar tech or a helicopter pilot. When you're a helicopter pilot, you're always thinking about this machine is going to fuck up at any second and I've got to get it down. My mate Randy MP flies the fucking helicopter over New York. He's a news chopper pilot. He's the guy that got all the pictures of Sully landing the fucking jet on the river, on the Hudson. Yeah, I got stories. I can talk about some things. I'd love to, chat with Randy again. I haven't spoken to him for years. But there's some bad things. There's always like good and bad with people. Sometimes they go through some things. Anyway, I don't know if this has been a good rant on, Metallica. Ask me, about Metallica. If you want to know, I'll have to try and like put it together because you can see I'm a bit all over the place. But that's because I've rediscovered that the thing that makes me act like I'm on cocaine is actually sugar, cane. I'm doing this horchata I think it's called, and it's rice milk. I'm sure it's got sugar cane in it. When I went to Jamaica, they used a lot of sugar cane as well. Very sweet, and they use condensed milk. Very sweet. Fats and sugars for me turn me into like a gack monster. I can talk all night. And all I've done is add some sugar, and so everyone's like, "What the fuck? You've been on the Charlie again, or on the Charlotte, or the Nose Up, or whatever people are calling it nowadays?" And I'm like, "No, I've not." But in those days, back in the day, I used to have 3 sugars in my coffee, and I used to have a lot of coffee all day long. So I was doing loads of caffeine and loads of sugar. No wonder people thought, "Fucking hell, he's on gear. He's gacked up." I wasn't gacked up. I was just doing sugar and caffeine. Mick Rock said to me, and I quote, "Don't underestimate the power of caffeine, Stu. Don't underestimate it." He goes, yes, we've all done the harder stuff, and we built up our tolerances. But he said, when you clean out, suddenly you realise how powerful some of these things are. Especially when he said he rediscovered caffeine. That's Mick Rock. I've got stories about Lou talking about speed, stories about Lou not liking cocaine. I can talk about the heroin story with Lou Reed, if anyone's interested. I've had these conversations with Lou. And I don't know, why is it just stuck in my fucking head? Why, it might be helpful to someone. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Maybe I'm kidding myself. Maybe this is all just been fucking load of... I don't know. I don't think it's been a waste of time because it's been fun. I've had a lot of laughs, and I've realised recently that's all there is. If you have fun, I could do a whole load on Eddie Van Halen as well, and the Van Halen brothers. I've got bits written already. See, now I'm the actor who's trying to like write bits for the writer. The original writer is Stewie, but the actor's trying to overrun everything. That, you know, the actor's a fucking egomaniac. And his name's Zephyr Woods. Zephyr Y Woods. Y and U. You did all that at the beginning, dude. You're never going to get it. You know, you're meant to, the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you're meant to get it. But you don't. You get worse. The more you go on, the worse you get, which is fucking hilarious. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off now. And I'm going to say, what do you say when you sign off? I'm going to say nothing at all. Bye.